Hey guys, it's Quana. Welcome back to another Her Real Review Reads. It is late in the month. We're almost at the halfway point in the month, and I am just now getting to my October TBR for spooky season, and I wholeheartedly apologize, guys. It is my birthday month. Yes, my birthday has already passed. If you follow me on my movie review channel, then you know that. But like, I'm celebrating all month, so I was just not able to make this video earlier in the month, and I wholeheartedly apologize because literally we've not read anything since The Long Walk. But there are a couple of good things at play here. One is that it is currently fall break for me, and so I will be able to do some read-alongs during the course of the next week. So that will greatly help us all. I know. But also I have some good book recommendations, hopefully, for you to read along. If you'd like to read along with me, I would love it. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, then why aren't you doing so? I'm just a girl over here on the internet talking about two things that I love, which are movies and books, books into movies, and so forth and so on. And I'm a teacher. Like, there's just no reason at all for you not to hit that subscribe button. But let's talk about October, also known as spooky season. All right, so the first book this month, I'm so excited for it. It's actually a book that I'm going to start in October, but I'm not going to talk about it probably until November. And it is a joint read with Books, Gers, and Purrs, also known as Leslie. And if you're not following Leslie at Books, Gers, and Purrs, do so. Like, Leslie talks about cats, talks about books. And one of the cool things that she does over her channel is talking about Interview with a Vampire and the characters on the show and what books would be on their bookshelves. It's so cool. And we know a lot of people are getting really geared up for the new season of Interview with a Vampire, also known as The Vampire Lestat, which is technically the third season of Interview with a Vampire, but also its own thing. So we're really excited for that. And for this upcoming season, she's focusing on the character of Daniel Malloy, the interviewer in Interview with a Vampire, played by Eric Brosnahan. And so we're going to be reading Operation Nemesis, the assassination plot that avenged the Armenian genocide. The synopsis is that in 1921, a group of Armenian survivors, an accountant, a salesman, a student, a diplomat, and an editor, launched Operation Nemesis to avenge the nearly 1 million victors of the Armenian genocide. Named after the Greek goddess of retribution, they became one of history's most effective assassination teams, killing 6 key Turkish leaders across Europe before disappearing. Their secret mission is only now being fully uncovered. And what is really cool is that not only is this a book that would definitely be on Daniel Malloy's bookshelf as a journalist who does take his role very seriously. If you watch the show, you know that. But also, this is a book written by the actor who plays the character. So it's just like a 2-in-1. I'm really excited to read it. I don't usually get excited for nonfiction. Don't read a lot of nonfiction. But just to read something from Eric, I think is so cool. He plays Daniel so well. The banter between him, Louis, and Armand during second season, it's just like chef's kiss. It's so good, so juicy. He has some of the best reads on the show. So really excited for this. Hopefully you can join us. And if you're not already joined, Leslie over at Books, Gers, and Purrs, do so immediately. The next book is my school book read. One of the things I wanted to share with you guys is that I am an advisor for a book club at my school, and the kids in the book club decided that for October they wanted to go with a murder mystery instead of a traditional scary book, which, you know, I don't blame them. Not everybody is into horror. And so we're going to be reading from the Queen of Mystery herself, Agatha Christie, and Then There Were None. Now, this is a book that surprisingly I've never read. I have read several other Agatha Christie books. I was like obsessed with Murder on the Orient Express when I was in high school. But this is one that I didn't read simply because I was aware of some of the very racist overtones. I'm not going to say undertones, overtones in the book, but there have since been a lot of key changes to the book to make it not so racist. And so I I'm going to be looking forward to reading this book with them. This also been adapted into a movie. I think the movie was on Lifetime. A little less excited about the Lifetime of it all, but that's, Lifetime can be okay sometimes. But essentially, this book is about 10 strangers who are invited to a remote island under different pretexts, only to find themselves accused of past crimes. As they're mysteriously killed one by one, paranoia grows, and the survivors realize the murderer is among them. Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None is tense, twisty mystery about guilt, justice, and survival. Definitely a read and watch, I think, worthy for the month of October. The next book on my TBR is our big film adaptation read for the month, and it is Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. As we probably all know, unless you are under a rock, the second part of the Wicked musical, Wicked for Good, is coming out November 21st. This is an adaptation of the Broadway musical, and the Broadway musical is an adaptation of Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West, written by Gregory Maguire, and I've never read it. I have just started, so I have officially started this month, and I did attempt to read it once before, but just life wasn't lifing in the way that it needed to. Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West reimagines the story of the Wizard of Oz from the perspectives of Elphaba, the misunderstood girl who becomes the Wicked Witch. Born with green skin and a sharp mind, Elphaba faces prejudice, politics, and moral dilemmas in the land of Oz. Gregory Maguire's novel explores how society turns an idealist into a villain, blurring the line between good and evil. Now, I am already on chapter 6 or 7 of the book. I'm listening to the audio, and listen, don't come over here with any of that, the audio book isn't the same as reading the book stuff. I do not subscribe to that. I take my reading wherever I can get it, because life is hard and you got to get the books in when you can. I have a long commute to work, so this is a perfect opportunity for me to knock in and get some of that reading done. And the audiobook is 17 hours, which is probably longer than it would take for me to sit down and read it, but obviously I can't read while I'm driving, so let's make good use of that time. And I can honestly say, being 7 chapters in, this book is heavy into the political aspects of life, and I'm interested to think what I like the musical Wicked. It's not my favorite, but I do like it a lot, and I'm enjoying the adaptation. That said, I'm very interested in what my thoughts will be when I get to the end of the book, because already I am highly agitated, but in a good way, but with the political systems of Oz and how he imagines them. And it makes the discussion around Cynthia Erivo's casting and how people were initially not receptive to there being a Black Elphaba, even though there's literally been the Wiz since the 1970s. Hello. But it makes it make more sense that she would be Black, because there's a lot of discussion around race and ethnicity and racism in the book, and this the first 7 chapters, and it's really whoa, very much very much giving yes, this is people should have read this book, because I think it would have brought that temperament down a whole lot. And all the more that I think they probably should have considered the racial implications much more when they were writing the musical, because then maybe it wouldn't have been such a visceral reaction to a casting like Cynthia Erivo when there's so much racism in this book. I'm going to tell you a lot. So just gird your loins for all of that if you've never read Wicked. And there's also a lot of naughty stuff. This is definitely not a listen in the car kind of vibe. This is very much adult only literature. Wizard of Oz for the littles, Wicked is for the biggins, okay? And then my final read for the month is a reimagining. I wanted to do something that would touch on me having an author of color, because these are all very white authors that we're reading this month. And so I wanted to also do a reimagining, and it just helps that this first book on the list is a reimagining of one of my favorite books and one of my favorite adaptations of a book into a movie, and that is the book Carrie, but we're not going to be reading Carrie. Instead, we're going to be reading Tiffany D. Jackson's The Weight of Blood, which is a reimagining of Carrie. So The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson reimagines Carrie through the lens of race and identity. When Maddie Washington's biracial identity is exposed, her classmates' cruelty and cruel prom night prank unleashes her hidden telekinetic powers with devastating results. And I'm so excited for this because, again, like I mentioned, I do love Carrie. This has definitely been like the year of Stephen King with like so many Stephen King adaptations, but also I am a fan of Tiffany Jackson's work. I read her book White Smoke last year around this time, and so it was so fitting that I didn't even know that she had a reimagining of Carrie, and now here we are with this. And so these are the 4 books that I will be reading this month for October for spooky season. But let me know in the comments what books you are looking forward to reading, and if any of these books will make your personal TBR for the month. I look forward to seeing you guys in some of our read-alongs and for some of the discussions at the end of the month. But again, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? It's, time is short and you need more book friends in your life, and I would love to be one of them. All right, so guys, I will see you soon. Take care and happy reading. Toodles.